All right. And this is a warning, right? And y'all gonna start to see more of this, unfortunately, because God sent his people to warn. The grace period is running out for a lot of people. What we saw with Angie Stone, how you get on a bus with nine people? And I don't have all the statistics and all that. 9 people, and you the only one that perished. Oh baby. And you bow down to Zeta. Oh, see, the grace period is running out for people.
Oh my God. The music world is absolutely shattered right now as we say our final goodbyes to the incredible, the unforgettable, the legendary Angie Stone. But wait until you hear this. In the midst of all our heartbreak, there's one tribute that has fans everywhere completely speechless. Angie wasn't just any singer, honey. She was an absolute force in R&B who literally shaped neo-soul with that rich, velvety voice and those timeless hits we all know and love. From her early days with The Sequence, yes, she was that iconic, to her mind-blowing solo career that blessed us with No More Rain and Wish I Didn't Miss You, Angie's music wasn't just songs, they were stories of love, pain, and incredible resilience. Her influence? Massive. She didn't just chart, she literally paved the way for artists like Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, creating this perfect blend of classic soul with hip-hop that completely redefined what R&B could be. Angie's impact went way beyond the music. It was about legacy, about being that powerful voice for everyone who felt like nobody was listening. This week, they held 2 funeral services in her honor, one private, one public, both absolutely packed with celebrities, her closest friends, and music legends, all coming together with tears and memories to celebrate her extraordinary life. But listen to this, among all those voices honoring Angie, there's one that has fans absolutely shaken to their core. Her ex-husband, Lil Rodney C.
How has the music industry changed from when you first started to where it is right now?
Each generation is bringing something new. When we started, there was no social media. It was just hard work, live shows, getting out there and putting the pedal to the metal.
A queen of soul, a true pioneer in R&B, and that voice that defined entire generations, Angie Stone's final farewell was nothing short of breathtaking. 2 completely different services, 2 different worlds, but both carrying the same overwhelming tsunami of emotion, love, devastating loss, and overwhelming gratitude for a woman whose music touched millions of lives. Angie's public service in Atlanta? Spectacular. As grand as her legacy deserved, held in this massive venue that could actually match her larger-than-life presence. The place was packed with industry giants, collaborators who'd known her for decades, and fans who'd followed every note of her incredible career. The atmosphere was so heavy you could feel it, yet somehow filled with this incredible warmth as everyone shared stories of how Angie had completely transformed their lives, both personally and musically. Some of the biggest names in entertainment showed up to pay their respects. Tyler Perry, yes, that Tyler Perry, sat front and center, visibly emotional, tears streaming down his face as tributes poured in from everywhere. Kirk Franklin, absolute legend in gospel music, talked about how Angie had this magical ability to bridge R&B and gospel in a way that brought people closer to their faith. Anthony Hamilton, her close friend and collaborator, took to the stage with the most heartbreaking performance of Charlene, changing the lyrics to honor Angie. But let me tell you about Keke Wyatt. She delivered what might be the most powerful moment of the entire evening. Her voice was literally trembling with raw emotion as she sang this absolutely stunning rendition of "Neither One of Us Wants to Be the First to Say Goodbye." The entire crowd went completely silent, hanging on every single note as she channeled all that pain and loss everyone was feeling. But while Atlanta's service was this grand, spectacular tribute fit for the legend she was, the private gathering in Columbia, South Carolina was deeply, intensely personal. Close friends, family, and those who knew the real Angie, beyond all that spotlight and fame, came together in this intimate setting, sharing stories about the woman behind the music. It was here that people talked about Angie's warmth, her incredible humor, and how she never stopped believing in lifting others up. But the most unexpected jaw-dropping moment? It came from someone who knew her in a way almost no one else did, her ex-husband, Lil Rodney C.
Right now, the only thing that they putting out is stuff that is self-genocide. It's killing the people.
For those who don't know the T, Lil Rodney C wasn't just another name from Angie's past. He was a crucial part of her journey, one of the very people who watched her transform from a young girl with big dreams into a full-blown icon. As a founding member of the pioneering hip-hop group Funky 4+1, he had his own solid place in music history, but his connection to Angie, so much deeper than just music. Their love story was intense, full of passion, creativity, and ultimately heartbreak. They married during this crazy time when both were trying to navigate their careers, balancing the pressures of fame with some serious personal struggles. And while their relationship eventually fell apart, that bond between them, it never completely vanished. At the funeral, Rodney wasn't just another guest in the crowd, he was a man visibly wrestling with overwhelming grief. When he took that podium, his voice kept cracking as he spoke about the woman he once called his wife. He didn't try to sugarcoat their complicated past. Instead, he reflected on all the lessons they learned together through the good and the bad. Angie was a force, he said, his voice shaking. She was stubborn, she was passionate, but she was also one of the most loving people I've ever known. He paused, struggling to keep it together. We didn't always get it right, but I never, ever stopped respecting her, and I never stopped being proud of everything she accomplished. What shocked everyone was the depth of his raw emotions. Lil Rodney C was known for his tough exterior, that no-nonsense attitude, but there he was, struggling to find words, completely overwhelmed by a loss that clearly felt deeply, intensely personal to him. He didn't just speak, he paid tribute in the most beautiful way he knew how, through music. Stepping back from the mic, he played a song that apparently held a special place in their history together. Some people say it was a track they used to listen to during their early days together, while others believe it was something he wrote specifically for her. Either way, as that music played through the room, there wasn't a dry eye to be found. Fans immediately took to social media, reacting to Rodney's emotional tribute. Many were completely stunned by how deeply he still clearly cared, while others wondered if he might be holding on to serious regrets. Some even speculated whether in another life they might have found their way back to each other. One person commented, "Lil Rodney's tribute was so raw and heartfelt. You could tell he still had so much love for Angie. This was the closure he never got." Another added, "Hearing him break down like that hit differently. It's crazy how loss makes people realize what they had all along." A third wrote, "Man, this proves that love never really dies. No matter what happened between them, she was always in his heart. Rest in peace, Angie." But while Rodney's words surprised everyone in that audience, what he revealed next left many in absolute tears.
Out of it, and I was holding her hand and she was wobbling around. And I said, "Baby, you gotta sit down." And then the next thing I know, I flew and I fell down to the ground, and it felt like something not ran over me, but brushed over me. Like something just swiped over my body. And I got up and I could hear screaming.
When we talk about Angie Stone, we're not just talking about some singer. We're talking about a woman who helped shape the very foundation of R&B and soul music. Her influence stretched so far beyond her own songs, touching the careers of artists who would go on to define an entire era of music. Angie's voice had this unique warmth, soulful, raw, and deeply emotional in a way that just grabs your heart. But it wasn't just her incredible sound that made her so special. It was the way she bridged generations of music lovers, blending classic soul with hip-hop influences to create something that felt both fresh and timeless. Whether it was her early days in the rap group The Sequence, her meteoric rise in the neo-soul movement, or her collaborations with some of the biggest names in the industry, Angie's imprint on music was absolutely undeniable. And her influence didn't stop with her own work. Countless artists, from Jill Scott to Alicia Keys, have openly cited her as a major inspiration. Even legends like Erykah Badu and India Arie have acknowledged the doors Angie helped blast open for them in the industry. Her ability to tell stories through her music about love, struggle, resilience resonated deeply with artists who wanted to do exactly the same thing. Her impact is still being felt today as this whole new generation of singers continues to sample and be influenced by her unique style. Social media has been absolutely flooded with tributes from rising stars who grew up with her music as the soundtrack to their lives. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, they've all become spaces where fans are rediscovering her incredible catalog, sharing their favorite songs, and reminiscing about how her music completely shaped their lives. From No More Rain in This Cloud to Wish I Didn't Miss You, Angie's songs have become these powerful anthems of heartbreak, empowerment, and reflection, and fans are not letting them fade away. Some have even started petitions for tribute concerts, while others have organized streaming parties to keep her legacy alive and thriving. It's a true testament to how much she meant to people, not just as an artist, but as someone who spoke directly to their souls through her music. But beyond all the music, Lil Rodney C's emotional tribute reminded fans of something even deeper. Angie wasn't just a singer, she was a person who left an undeniable mark on those lucky enough to know her. His emotional words weren't just about loss, but about realizing the true depth of someone's impact after they're gone. It was a moment that made everyone reflect not just on Angie's career, but on their own relationships, their own precious memories, and the absolute importance of appreciating people while they're still here with us. And that's exactly why fans are keeping her spirit alive, through her timeless music, through the heartfelt stories shared by those who knew her best, and through the endless love pouring in from literally every corner of the world.
And I grew up together. We were children. We went on the choir together. She introduced me to her church choir, and I went there with her. And we would go down to Concora House, eat dinner after church. In the neighborhood, we would come together and we would just do our little thing. Now, y'all know what young people do.
For those watching right now, this is your moment to share too. Drop a comment below with your favorite Angie Stone song, performance, or memory. How did her incredible music impact your life? What will you always remember about her? Let's keep celebrating the legacy of a true icon, because legends like Angie, they never truly die. Their music lives on, their words stay with us, and their impact, that lasts forever. Angie Stone's voice may be silent now, but her spirit, that's something that will never fade away. But listen to this. Angie's impact goes far beyond the stage, and what's been uncovered next might just leave fans absolutely shocked. Stay tuned for our next video, because this emotional story, it is far from over yet.